Take word, a technology training center wants to allocate course for instructors. An instructor is identified by name, technology skills, experience and average feedback. An instructor is allocated a course if he or she satisfies the below two conditions. Eligibility criteria: if experience is more than 3 years, average feedback should be 4.5 or more. If experience is 3 years or less, average feedback should be 4 or more. He or she should possess the technology skills for the course. Identify the class name and attributes to represent instructors. Drag and drop the chosen class name, attributes and methods into the appropriate section of the box shown below. So this is it. We found the class name as instructor, attributes there, instructor name because they are very clearly given. Instructor is identified by name, technology skill, experience and average feedback. Then we need to allocate a course, we need to check the eligibility criteria, then we need to allocate the course. So I found these are suitable. Write a Python program to implement the class chosen with its attributes and methods. Consider all instance variables to be private and the methods to be public. An instructor may have multiple technology skills. So consider instance variable technology skills to be a list. So this one should be a list. We need to consider it so. Check eligibility. There is a method. Return true if eligibility criteria is satisfied by the instructor, else return false. Allocate course of technology. Return true if the course which requires the given technology can be allocated to the instructor, else return false. Please perform case sensitive string comparison. Represent few objects of the class. Initialize instance variables using setter methods. Invoke appropriate methods and test your program. The logic is quite simple. Instructor name, experience, technology skill, average feedback, set all this as private data member. Then we need to have instructor, getter and setter for all the 4, which means we need to have 8 functions at least, getter and setter included. So get experience, set technology skill, right? Technological skill which we receive must be an array. Remember the name should be, if it is a double underscore average feedback, it should be average feedback. That is how they have said things to pass the test cases. So we have the simple eligibility criteria function, check eligibility. We check if experience is, why we are not, you might think why we are not using getter and setter here. We are directly accessing it with self dot underscore experience. We are inside the class, so we don't have to use getter and setter to access them, right? When you go out of the class, then we need to use getter and setter methods to access data members of a class. So we check if experience is greater than 3, then we ensure that average feedback should be greater than or equal to 4.5. If it is less than or equal to 3, then average feedback should be at least 4. Then we return true, otherwise we return false. Then allocate course function talks about if it returns true, if check self.check eligibility, if it returns true, this condition becomes true. We also check whether technology in the technology skills. Technology skill is nothing but here we say we pass an array, Java, C++, we are passing it as a technology skill, right? Array is passed from here, that is received as a technology skill. So we check whether the language subject which they want, right? Allocate course. If you're about to allocate C++, we need to check whether C++ is available in the technology skills course. So that is being passed and checked here. Technology in self.technology skill. It is an array. It is a list. If it is available, then it returns true. Otherwise, it returns false. If this condition is going to return false, then that time also you need to return false. So we represented few objects. We passed set instructor using setter. We set instructor name, experience, average feedback, and we also set technology skill. Then finally we call out this method allocate course, and we check. You like to allocate C++. Before you allocate, you check the eligibility, you check the average experience. You also check whether the subject is available in the technology skills. So I'm sure you know how this works, right? So instructor, an instance is created. Simply they are assigned with a none value. All of them are assigned with none value. Then set instructor name. We are setting the instructor name. Since we are calling outside, accessing instructor name outside the class, we use setter. We assign it. Look at this. The value is being set. Instructor name is set. The same way we set experience. Then we set average feedback. Then finally we set instructor technology skill. This array we pass, that is being set there. Look at this. Up to these things, 4.0 average feedback, instructor experience is 3 years, instructor name is veterinary, Then we move on self.technology skill. Now this reference, the list reference is assigned to technology skill. Now when we check the eligibility, right, now we're trying to allocate the course. Allocate course function checks the eligibility. It calls out another method, check eligibility. Goes up, it checks whether experience is greater than or 3 or less than 3. If less than 3, average feedback should be 4.0. Then if it is so, it returns 0. In this case, it is true. Average instructor experience is 3 years, average feedback is 4.0, so it returns true. If it returns true, second condition what we do is we also check whether this technology skill is in the technology is in the technology currently what it has, C++. We also check whether it exists in the technology skill list. If it is true, we proceed. Right now we are checking it. If both the conditions are met, then we say we return true. Otherwise we return false. That's about it. There's a simple logic behind this. You can execute and verify. All the test cases are passing. You may take a look at the code one by one. Simple getter and setter. Please be used to getter and setter. That will help you a lot. Practice one by one. Do not copy paste code from anywhere. Type on your own. That helps you a lot. Setter, set instructor name, get instructor name. Set experience, get experience. Set technology skill, get technology skill. Set average feedback, get average feedback. Then we have method check eligibility. It returns true or false based on the value. Then we call out allocate course method. We pass technology as a parameter. Then this is where we call out.